Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the November edition of the Real Estate Investment Workshop. An opportunity to learn about exciting news within the real estate sector and then everything you need to know about real estate investment and um, instructions within the real estate sector. So, welcome once again. My name is Mr. Tete, and this is brought to you by the Global Startup Ecosystem in collaboration with the Team Group and Ghana Tech Summit. So, this is a monthly let's discussion that brings some speakers on board. And before we get to the speakers that we have for today, just give you a roundup of what the team group offers in terms of when it comes to the real estate program offerings within Ghana. The team group is a leading firm within the real estate investment in Ghana and provides a series of programs including webinars, workshops, tours, virtual summits, live expos, retreats, accelerators, and workshops like these for its clientele. And over the past 2 years, is the third year of its the Real Estate Investment Workshop series, and we're thankful for all the speakers that have come in um, over the course of this program. We're grateful for their thought leadership in sharing their insights to us and then also giving valuable advice to potential real estate investors or those that want to venture into building their own structures or getting a job or investing into real estate as well as a lucrative venture. So thankful to all our speakers over the course of this program. And throughout the program, too, we've had various ecosystem players that include real estate banks, real estate developers, also those that organize events and government agencies, as well as marketplaces and agents also coming in to share their thought leadership with us. We are grateful for all their expertise that have come on the program as well. So for tonight, we've done the virtual check-in, and then we'll now be transitioning to the expert panel discussion, which will be led by Nyama Ralph, and he would then introduce the speakers that would come on. And if there are any questions, we'll also take them as well. But just stay tuned and then get your questions ready. If you have any for speakers throughout the course of the program, if you send them in the comments, we'll be able to give it to them whilst we are live. Okay, so we'll now be transitioning to the panel discussion and to leaders. We have Nyama Ralph who will come and take us through the panel discussion.
Hello, everyone. Thank you once again for joining us today for the Real Estate Investment Workshop. It's a great pleasure to be here today. And without wasting my time, we'll dive right in. Currently, we have one of our speakers who is ready, who is in the person of Ruth. I'll invite her to come on stage and she'll introduce herself. We get to know her, and then we dive in right away to learn about the real estate industry. Hello, Ruth. You're welcome. I think you are mute. If you can hear me, you are mute. Hello. Okay. All right. Oh, you are muted again. All right. I think we are good to go. Can you hear me?
All right, sure. Thank you so much, Nee. Yes, please, I can. Hope
Okay.
I'm audible enough.
Yeah, you are. I can hear you loud and clear. Okay. All right. So you're welcome to
All
today's
right, thank
session
you
of
so
the.
much.
You're welcome welcome to today's session of the real estate investment workshop. Just as Daniel mentioned, it's a monthly series that we hold, and today is the November edition, and we happen to have you as one of our speakers. Really excited to have you. Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. So, to kickstart, I'd like you to introduce yourself, tell us who you are, and just so we are sure or we know you are really into the real estate industry.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Ruth Abopoka Nyorgia. I work as a property manager with Z Homes and a real estate consulting firm and an agency too as well. So we don't only do property management, you are into sales, you are into consulting and what have not. I'm looking forward to expand in the future. Currently managing more than 15 properties in Accra from Dansuman to East Legon to Oyarifa. We are everywhere. So I not as you are listening to today's session, we hope that yes, you come, you network, and then we do business together. So thank you.
Sure. Great to hear that. Okay. So now that we know who you are, we dive right in. So to kickstart, in your opinion, what makes Ghana's real estate market a unique compared to the other market in Africa? In your own opinion.
Yes. All right. So, for in my opinion, Ghana is a bit different from other African countries is one thing is that the political stability, and that is what the one of the criteria most investors are looking at to in case of investing, because that is their first criteria. If there's political stability, then they know that whatever they're investing in, they are going to get profits or they are going to get the return on investment of what they are investing in. If there's no political stability, then it's a no-go area. They are not even going to look forward to investing. And then also another thing is that we have a young growing population, which 38% of the populations are between 15 to 35, which is the youth. And those people are looking forward to owning homes in the near future. So this makes Ghana unique in a certain way. And then we have growing urban centers from Accra to Kumasi to Tamale. These three places and other places upcoming are also growing with the residential properties coming up because the people are moving in as families, as single people, or even collaborative rentals that they are doing. So that's one thing. And then Ghana being a sport which have more room for improvement in case of mixed use development in terms of sustainable housing, which it's of now a topic of discussion everywhere you go, because one thing that is needed is the houses that are coming up, are they sustainable enough in the long run? Are they things that would not are the houses that they are building sustainable enough for the growing population? So these are some of the few things that makes Ghana stand out from in the African market in real estate. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Ruth. Okay. So, um, I for with that shared, I want to find out from your professional journey. How have you seen the property management evolve in Ghana, and what impact has this had on the real estate investment opportunities, particularly in residential properties?
So if maybe the Gen Zs might not know, but those rentals earlier, let's say 10 decades ago, were being handled by mostly homeowners themselves or family relatives who are doing this on behalf of the homeowners, or caretakers that the people homeowners do take care of their properties for them. And in that regard, those people are not professionally trained to do these things, which ends up resulting in tenant and homeowners confusion, where and then even those who are supposed to be in charge of taking care of the properties don't even have time for the property. They don't do regular checks. They don't do maintenance checks. Nothing to it. So the house is just there. The people are just there. So that is how we've evolved. So 10 years down the line, now we have real estate companies coming up, and then willing to offer services in property management. We have property management systems that are put in place to help um, the day-to-day activities of property managers. We also have a clearer tenant procedures, which tenants, even before they come in to rent, they know that this is what I need to, these are the checks I need to do, these are things that I need to go through before I rent a property, or before I am checked in into a property as a tenant. So these are some of the things that had evolved over the years, and it has also improved. This has improved investors' confidence in investing in real estate, because they know that they have people who their property managers are people who they can rely on, not to do anything. But because as property managers, we are those who we are trying to maximize profit for the investors, whilst making sure that tenants are comfortable and happy with the properties they are in. So that's how property
Oh, I think we're having a bit of challenge with Ruth. Uh, okay, we look forward to Ruth joining us again. Um, I think she's having a bit of technical challenge. Those are some of the things with technology, but then we hope she'll sort herself out and join us right away. So, just in case you just join us, um, Ruth, Ruth is a property manager at the Z Homes, and today we are talking on maximizing value residential real estate. That's the insight from property management to investment opportunities in Ghana. Yes. Um, that's it for now. We okay. So we are back again. Ruth, can you hear me? Great. I guess you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. So you were making some few points on how investors can maximize their um, how investment how investors can maximize opportunities in the real estate industry in terms of property management. So you can go on.
Yes, so as I was speaking, so investors can maximize their investment opportunities in property management in the sense that don't just look forward to getting someone to manage the property, because when we offer our services, we are offering it professionally. We are not just offering services with mediocre, or just or services that you might not bring in money to you, but we offer professionally.
Okay.
So in that regard, we bring rent manage the property because you just want to get the return on investment for the investor, but you're managing the property that in the long run investors can still have their property in the market, that people can still come in to rent the property. So that is one way we I think that investors can maximize their investment opportunities and using property management.
Okay. All right. In your submission, the earlier one, you mentioned about how initially property management has been, how the rental is being done, being managed by the homeowners. Like currently, it's being managed by property managers. Um, I I want to find out from you. Do you, do you think it's advisable? It's still advisable to have property owners handing over to handing it over to property managers, because I've seen recently there was a video where at the end of the day, when the client checked out or tenant checked out, he or she had destroyed almost everything. Meanwhile, the owner thought he has left it in the hands of the property manager. But at the end of the day, we had those challenges. How do you think that is effective? Making property managers rather manage your property instead of you, the owner, managing it, because I feel if you are the owner, you have some kind of passion handling your property. You know how much you invest, or as an investor, you know how much you place in to maybe finish that particular property, or even to build that property, or to even buy that property. So you kind of have that passion in handling it. Unlike property managers who theirs is to manage, theirs is to get a tenant in and out, and then they also cash out. Uh, what do you have to say about that?
All right. So, first of all, I don't know who was the property manager or which people were managing such a property, but not to brag, but in our case at Z Homes, we don't just we know that property management is not just about bringing tenants in and bringing tenants out. It's more or less like, first of all, it goes two ways. So you are building a rapport, you're building a relationship with the tenant, as well as making sure that the homeowner is earning what he or she would want to earn. So in that regard, you need to be very vigilant in the sense that before a tenant comes in, you do your background checks. At least you get to know what this person does in terms of employment, in terms of income. You don't just go straight for it to just like investigate, or maybe just you want to know everything by just putting forward to the person. But in terms of conversation, you get to know the person more. That way, you are building a relationship with the person. And as well, what we do is that sometimes some of these things you can't is manageable, but it happens. It sometimes happens. So what you do is that we take security deposit. We take security deposit, an amount where we know that if something is destroyed, this amount can suffice for that, for what's being destroyed. And if it's more than, we follow up to know. That's where the background checks come in. We know who we can go to. In terms of contracts, whilst you're signing the contract, you have a witness. We reach out to the witness. This is this person did this to the property, and you signed as a witness in the contract. So we are following up because you can't get hold of the person. So you are the next person we can get in touch with to help us get to the person. So those are some of the few things that we can work around to mitigate these issues. But to say that it's going to be fully cleared out, that I can't say so. But it can be mitigated, or it can be at least mitigated. It can be mitigated. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Ruth. To box on, in today's housing market, what skills and qualities do property managers need not to just to operate effectively, but also to maximize return for investors, and then also to enhance property value?
All right. So, as a property manager, having to manage several properties, I have come to know that as a property manager, you do bits of everything, either from technical aspects to legal to financial and to interpersonal relationships. In the sense that you have to be the one to look forward to the day-to-day activities that goes on in the property, in the apartment or the residential area. You have to be the one to sort out for vendors, to sort out for artisans, make sure that the artisans on standby where there's an issue, you can act swiftly to it. In case a tenant reach out, this is not working, you have someone to call to come in immediately to work on these things. You are someone, you don't just, because one thing is that at the end of the month you give reports to the homeowners. You don't just manage their property and then you give them the money and that ends it. They want to know the state of their properties each month and what can be done to prevent certain things, that, or maybe what advice you have for them. So aside the day-to-day activities and technicalities of everything, you have to also have a bit of financial knowledge in terms of bookkeeping, in terms of expense tracking, and then income tracking. So you need to know, you need to also have the idea that you don't just spend, you are spending at a limited, have budget, yeah, have a budget and spend it within that budget. And also, aside that, you have to have a bit of legal knowledge, where that comes in when signing contracts with tenants. You need to know what you do on your part as a property manager, and let the tenant to understand what he or she has to do on his or her part as a tenant who is coming to rent the property. And aside that, for tenants to stay at a place for a very long time, we know that it comes with interpersonal relationship we have with tenants, because a tenant can't go to a place where they are not free with the property managers, because you literally act as a homeowner. So you build that rapport with them. You don't, it's not just about, oh, I'm coming to look at the property, this needs to be done. But oh, okay, you see them, you ask, how you doing? How was your day? How was your week? How was work? They know that they feel safe. You are not just after their money, because most tenants, when they are coming in, they're like, yeah, you're coming for my money just because you have a space to rent out. But you build it in such a way that at least they know that you care about them, not just because they are renting the place, but you just want to build that relationship with them. And with that, you have to have data-driven decisions, because as you're taking notes of everything, you are seeing how the data is. That would inform your future decisions, your future decisions. So in that regard, in with data-driven decisions, with also a personal relationship, you are able to go well, or you are able to grow and do things as a property manager. So those are the few things I would say that are the skill set that a property manager should have.
Well, that's a lot. I can just imagine your work, your day-to-day work. Okay, thank you very much, Ruth.
It's
Sure. Okay, so what are the most challenging based on what you said? Obviously everywhere comes with its own challenges. But then I want to find out from you what is the most common challenges investors and property managers faced in Accra specifically, or let me say even beyond Accra, residential market, residential market, and how can these be effectively mitigated to protect both tenants and then the investors' value.
Yeah, so in property management, you, as I mentioned earlier, when dealing with tenants, that you have to do your due diligence and then um, investigate to know who they are, not just because the person is coming, the person comes. At least you have a background check on the person. It's the same way we do with homeowners, because now we you can't tell because we have a lot of issues related to lands. Now if you go to the court, that's what is happening, because most of the cases in court are land cases. Quite unfortunate. So in that regard, you have to do your due diligence on also investigating on the part of the investor or the homeowner. Are they really the owners of the property that you are going to manage? Are they the title document, is it in their name or is it in someone's name, and then why? If it's in someone's name, you investigate to know why, know the ins and outs of it. And also another thing is that one issue we have is utilities increment. So in the past, I think in October, we had PURC coming out with a utility increment of I can't remember the figure, but there was an utility increment in electricity. But water was remain, I think, and then in May, water had its increment. So in all these things, these are some of the challenges we face, because when these things are increased, we are forced to also increase the rent to be able to go about the day-to-day activities of what we use the money for. That's also one aspect. And then we also have the high cost of maintenance, because some of the items in the room are costly, and to maintain them or to get them when they are spoiled is expensive. So those are some of the things we face. And then, just like you said about the video which you saw of a tenant destroying the property, the things in the house, is also one aspect, because that is also a challenge. Because now that the items are spoiled, the person would have to spend over $1,000 to repair that, to make sure that everything comes back so that they can continue running the business. So those are some of the few things we see in the residential, in terms of residential properties in Accra. And then one of the ways, some of the ways I think we can mitigate those ones are: one, we would have to um, do preventive maintenance. So we don't wait for something to spoil before we fix it, we completely fix it. We, as we see that it's spoiling, we try to prevent the end thing that is going to happen to it from now. So we do it now, and then we do it in the instant. And then also we have also verification of documents, just like I said earlier, that we have to investigate on the part of the property the property owners too as well. And then also we have to, in case of things getting spoiled and then you getting artisans to come work on it, they have to be professional ones. You can't just bring in anyone who says that, oh, I'm an electrician to come work on things, because the houses, the places you manage are investments. So you need to bring in someone who is very experienced and professional to work on those things for you, so that it helps you. You don't just end up spending more on repairing something that could have been done at a get-go. So that's what I would say that are some of the things you can do to mitigate. So preventive maintenance. Then also we have to do realistic pricing, because we have says that we have issues with tenants coming in and they're like, no, this amount is too huge, and then they can't pay for it, and then the place is there. But if we realistic price the places that we manage, then we can get tenants to occupy those places. So those are some of the things I would say.
Yes, thank you very much for that. But with that, I just in your last submission, you spoke about you used a word, is it values, right? The value for money, right?
Mhm.
Yes, I want to
Yes.
find out what influenced the cost of a particular apartment or a particular yes, a particular apartment. What actually influenced and also is the price determined by the property manager or the house owner or the property owner? Sorry.
Okay. So some of the factors that constitute pricing of properties is that one is we look at the location, and we look at the closeness to certain amenities, and then we also look at what is inside a property. So you realize that for an unfinished property, S price is different from a finished property because there's an addition. Yes, of course, there's an addition to what to the property or to the property. So you have to look at that, and then you have to realize that in terms of expenses, you don't just you hire cleaners, you hire security, you pay for utilities. All those things are inclusive, because if you don't include those ones and you include just the person staying in the apartment, you run at a loss, because you need to pay for water bills, you need to pay for um, ECG, you need to pay for what's being done day to day in the apartment. So those are some of the few things I would say that constitutes pricing in terms of pricing for a property. And then also, for maybe speaking from my aspect, from my view of what we've been dealing with land property owners, it's that we we advise. We don't just, because I'm sure those property owners also do their due diligence by also asking to know, oh, what price should I give to my property? What amount should I rent it at? So we also do our evaluation, and then we tell you that, okay, with the location, with the style of the building, and then what's inside, we propose that this is the amount you should rent it at. But we don't force it on the homeowners, because they too have their own mindset, or they too have their own plan on how they want to also price the property. So we can advise you, and then we can talk through it. If you come to it, if we all come together and then we see that, okay, this is the price we both can do from both sides, then fine. But if the homeowner is insisting that this is the price I want to rent my property, then we don't have a say. We can only advise the homeowners. But at least we also tell you, okay, this, we also advise you and tell you that, okay, this will be the right price to price your property to get tenants. Yes.
It's okay. All right. Thank you very much, Ruth. Um, talk of relationship. You in your submission you mentioned about tenant, your relationship with both property owners and then the tenant as well. I want to find out from you, tenant relationship directly affects occupancy rate and property profitability. What strategy have proven most effective in ensuring tenant satisfaction while managing strong investment performance?
So, in that regard, um, tenancy relationship is in the sense that you respond swiftly to the tenant. You prove you are very transparent to them. You don't hide things. You are not open to them with the details of everything that they are doing. needs to be done, and then you wait for the tenant to move in before you start mentioning, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. That wouldn't work. So I think communication, clearer communication, and then swift response to them, because I would say that starting the role as a property manager can be daunting, because you have a tenant calling you at 12 at 1 a.m. Oh, hi, my lights just went off. What would you do? Are you willing to wake up and then say that, let me get it sorted out for you? Yeah, like, oh, let's wait till morning to do that. So with all these things, it will lead to higher occupancy rates, and then eventually we have if you have more people renting your apartment, because we sometimes think that using social media to put out the properties is what will bring people, but sometimes it's from the tenants who have come and then they've experienced that, oh, okay, this is not just a place I'm living, but it's an experience. They tell other people that, okay, if you're going, go to this place because they're actually good, and then they will make your stay a memorable one. So that is how tenancy relationship leads to higher occupancy rates, and then at the end, you get profit for your money. Yeah, you get profit for the property you're managing, for the
Sure.
homeowners.
So it's more of amount of recommendation that recommending to the other person come and occupy. Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
I strongly agree with you on that as well. Okay. But in maintaining properties and ensuring compliance is crucial for long-term returns. How do you balance facility management with financial planning to maximize ROI for residential investors?
Please come again. I think I lost you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, please, I can.
Yeah, so I'm asking, maintaining properties and ensuring compliance is crucial for long-term returns. How do you balance facility management with financial planning to maximize ROI for residential investors?
Okay. So, with that, with facility management or property management, balancing that with financial planning means that maintenance, yeah, I think I mentioned that earlier. Maintenance is like an investment, because you're investing in the property so that it could stay for long, or it could be in the market for long. So maintenance is an investment, not you should put that in mind. Would always make sure that you adopt preventive measures, maintenance plans, so that the properties that you are managing, they don't just go down the drain, because maybe you've bought a sofa, you don't take care of it. Maybe there are certain things the sofa needs to stay longer. You don't care about that. You leave it as it is, and then very soon it will spoil. And then that means that you have to take money again to go buy another sofa for the property. But if you do your due diligence and then make sure that the sofa is catered for, you teach your cleaners how to clean certain gadgets or certain appliances in the apartment. You tell them that this needs to be cleaned using this, because we know that not everything uses soap or uses detergents to be cleaned. So you need to have those preventive maintenance plans as part of your property management day-to-day activities. That would also help. And then also, we often think that when we get the money as income, and then we deduct our expenses for the month, all we need to do is that the homeowner takes it, because I'm sure that homeowners, when they take it, they know that, oh, you've done whatever needs to be done, and then this money is mine, and they have plans for their money every time. So in that regard, you allocate, budget, you allocate funds, sorry, you allocate funds, and then budget what needs to be done, because in real estate, in the real estate industry, it's not every time that you have full occupancy occupants in the building. There are times there are just maybe 50% of tenants in the apartment. There are times it's 20 at 10. It's other times it's 80, it's 100. So it fluctuates. So you need to know when you need to have a budget so that when it fluctuates and you need certain things needs to be done, you can do it swiftly and not wait for money from tenants before. Of course, wait for money from tenants who will be coming or prospective tenants before you will be able to work on something. So that is also one aspect. And then another thing will be that make sure that the property is cleaned, is ready for use, is secured, and then well maintained. Because if a tenant comes, mostly they are either new to the area. So when they come, there's no security, and then there's no CCTV cameras. They don't feel safe. That might send them away. So those are some of the things. And then, so at the end, property management affects financial planning. So you plan well, you get value for the money, and then you're able to budget ahead of time.
Okay, thank you very much. You plan well, you're able to get you're able to get your budget ahead. You mentioned of CCTV cameras. With technology transforming real estate, how can a digital tool improve property management effectively and provide insight that help investors make smart decisions?
So yes, aside, maybe I would start with digital tools or digital listings that we have, that it makes one property marketing very um, secured because you're using digital listings. So I think one that we have is Mecasa, which is a digital listing platform that um, you are able to list your property there, and then majority of people are sure that this is a secured platform that I can I can go look for a property and then not be scammed. Yeah, I think the word is not be scammed. So also, and then aside that is also some of the digital tools is the property management software, which we are also using at Z Homes. And then this is more or less like we are investing in a local entity that has worked on the software for us. So this way we are able to track our day-to-day activities. We know that this is not the time you have to call a colleague to say, um, oh, hello, is the property occupied? Can this person come in? No, but you're able to, for the software, you're able to know that, okay, this with this space, um, we have these dates and these dates available. So you can seamlessly interact with a tenant, a prospective tenant, without having to tell the person, oh, let me get in touch and get back to you. You're able to give swift response, and then they know that you're very professional, and then you know what you're doing. And in with the CCTV cameras, it's important because sometimes you might think that nothing would happen with security being around, but you don't know what happens behind closed door because the CCTV camera is able to track or um, take a wide coverage or area that can best tell, okay, this person, I've seen this person who regularly comes around this place at this time, which you don't know. So that way you're able to prevent if somebody was planning on breaking in and stealing something, you're able to prevent that because the next time you see the person, you're going to ask, oh, what do you do here? Who are you? You get to investigate more to know that if this person is really just someone who coincidentally passes here or the person is planning to steal from you. So that's some of the digital tools or how technology can help ease way. And then we have digital paying platform. The tenant is able to pay, doesn't have to come with plenty of cash to come and then pay the money to you. The person is able to pay digitally and online, and it's safe and secure because with a huge sum of money, the tenant might be bringing it and might be ambushed, and then they'll take the money from him or her, or you, the property manager, you take the money, you are now going to submit it, and then it's also they also steal from you. So at least the digital platform also help in secure rental payment. So those are the few things. So prop tech is really helping in the property management system.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Ruth. It's been amazing having this past side chat about real estate investment workshop with you. And we have a few more questions and we'll be done. So I want to find out from you what trends have you observed in terms of expectation, housing preference, and then investors' priority in Ghana. What do you see as the biggest opportunity in the residential real estate over the next 5 years? Okay, so let's do it this way. Just let's first answer the question which has to do with the trends, and then after we'll come back to the other question. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
what
So
yeah. So what trends have you observed in terms of in tenants' expectation and then house preference and investors' um, priorities in Ghana? Yeah.
so I think the first thing, maybe as
Yeah.
a Gen Z myself, I see is that um, modern furnitures, yeah, we are very keen on that. We want modern spaces. We, of course, the only ones are good, but we want a modernized space. A good. I think another thing is color matching spaces. That you know that okay, this goes with this, and this is how the apartment looks like. Aside that, we another thing which might be general is reliable water, because if there is no water available for the tenants, the person would not feel comfortable. If the person has to leave their room and have to come downstairs to get water, that's not nice, and that's even more headache for the tenant as well. And also another thing is that electricity can't be there 24/7, because there are sometimes maintenance works that happen. So in the sense that maintenance works are happening and then the lights are turned off, do you have a standby generator to help support that? Because in this time we need electricity like almost every minute and every second of our time. We need electricity, maybe because of work, because we are maybe are using it for anything personal or professional or work. So that's also one. And then another thing is smart amenities. We are looking forward to smart television, maybe smart cooker, smart doors. You don't have to, because sometimes the keys, if not noted, people I get scared because people will be like, oh, they can. What if the key is being replicated by someone else who can barge into my room and then take something from me? So smart door, which at least takes fingerprints or card or password. Those are some of the things. And the last thing would be secure environment, because you don't want to come to a space where the place is not secured. They know that there is electric fence, there is CCTV cameras, and there is even security at posts, so that they know that the electric fence works, the CCTV camera can capture anyone who comes in and out of the apartment, which will make them secure. And then for the investors aspect, investors obviously they would consider cash flow, good cash flow, like money should be coming in all the time for them, because it's an investment, so they will need money.
So,
And then they look forward to, yeah, their properties being in good locations, because if that starts from the development phase, because if their property is not in a good location, they they don't get tenants, because it might be so let's say an example is, we know cars, I'm not shading cars that people do, but we know that in Casa we have lots of family oriented buildings and family lifestyle, where you go, it's now people are living in Accra to Casa, and then you go build at a new site, you go build an apartment complex. It's good, but in the sense that it's just in a new area and then no one is there, it makes it hard for people to even want to come because they are not safe. They don't feel safe there because let's say all around is the rest of that's the only house there, and then the rest are all bushes. No one would want to go stay there unless or maybe a different reason for someone staying there. So that is also one aspect. And then property management and then sustainability. I think property management is upcoming. People are buying into the services. It wasn't that 10 years ago, but we now have it as part of what investors are looking at because when they are done with the building, the next thing is that they can't manage them because most investors are in the diaspora, they are not in the country. So in this case, they want someone they can rely on to help them manage the property. So they look for property management and then how to sustain their buildings in the long run. So those are the two things for both tenants and then um, investors. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Yes, Abisha, I had a question, but I think along the line you made a point that I was like, okay, let me. It has kind of answered my question. You mentioned of one of the trends that's living in an environment where there are a lot of people are not there. I then wanted to make a reference to maybe East Legon. We have buildings there, but people like to go there because of the serene. A lot of people are not there. Even if those there most likely like to stay indoor. So
The,
why won't people going for a place where people are we don't have much people in the environment? I feel there's more peace around us. Unlike you have an environment where you have a whole number of people living around you, making a whole lot of noise. Today there's funeral, tomorrow there's party. I feel that does not sell as compared to the one. Um, we don't have a lot of people around, but along the line you mentioned that where you have a lot of bushes. So I'm like, okay, that place there's a lot of bushes there and not developed. So I was like, okay, I don't know
yeah.
if you like to add something to it again.
Yes, so people as in people are very diverse. We have
Yeah.
people who are like, I think there was one time we reached out to a tenant, and then the tenant asked us that is the place particularly noisy? Not like as in noisy with, but at least there are activities. They see people coming in and going out, and then we're like, oh no, this is one that's like a very quiet and quiet space. And then his response was like, nah, this is not for me. This is not what he's looking at. So you have diverse tenants. So there are people who are like, okay, I like a very quiet place. So if you can get me a very quiet place, I would like. You have people who would want, not as in there should be noise, but at least they are hearing things going in and going out. They are seeing that, oh, there are activities happening around, but not just too quiet. At least there's a bit of noise. Maybe I'll put it as white noise for them. So that is how diverse they are. So you just have to know who wants what and then give them what they want.
Sure. Okay. That sounds so well, and thank you very much for that clarification. Let me say. Okay. So just a few more questions, and we'll be done for today's session. Um, what do you see as the biggest opportunity in residential real estate over the next 5 years or so? And what advice would you give to young professionals and aspiring investors looking in? Okay, so let's just do this one. I don't know what I'm adding. I'm trying to join the questions. Okay, let's just do this one first.
Okay.
What are the biggest opportunities in residential real estate over the next, what opportunities do you see in residential real estate over the next, let's say, 5 years? Yeah.
Yes, so I think this discussion has been in the system or has been the talks of town in terms of real estate is affordability. So I see that in the next 5 years, I see opportunities in people putting up affordable rental housing for the working class Ghanaians because I think it's high time we go from luxury apartments to affordable housing, because most of the working class Ghanaians, unless it's I don't know, but yes, most of the working class Ghanaians are looking forward to an affordable space to stay and not luxury at the moment. So maybe developers can think of shifting from luxury to affordable housing, which would cater for most of the working class Ghanaians. Because from 15 to 35 years, the 15 years are growing. 5 years from now, they'll be 20s. They might be finishing school, they might be doing NSS, and then ready for the work world. So they don't have a space to stay. What do we do? And then also, I think the rise of studio and then one bedroom apartments would also be of something that will be sought after, because most people are doing NSS outside where they grew up, or outside their families, where their families stay. So going to a different space, they would be open to having either a studio apartment or a one bedroom apartment, which will be okay for them staying alone. And then also another thing would be that people are looking forward to more serviced and gated communities, because that is where they know that they are safe, and then they are secure, they feel safe. Because in a gated community, they know that one, they'll make sure that there are security personnel, they'll make sure the CCTV cameras are hooked up, because if it's not done that way, then that means that the company will be liable to damages, or they'll be at fault. So companies will make sure that things are running smoothly for them as they are in gated communities, as compared to maybe a standalone house in which you have to get your own security, and then the possibility of breaking in is sometimes higher than people in gated or serviced communities. And then we have energy efficient appliances is what people would want, because somebody wouldn't want to be paying like 1,000 cities for electricity a month. So
Yeah.
they are looking forward to getting high energy efficient appliances for their homes, where they can spend less on electricity. And even if the introduction of solar panels for most of the buildings would actually help in it, because Ghana, we have a lot of sun, and the sun is hitting so strong that we can utilize the sun that we have in Ghana to also we use it for our apartments. So yes, that's what I would say would be the trend in the next 5 years.
So, thank you very much. I don't think I actually agree with you on that. Some of the things that you've mentioned. But then in your submission, you did mention about the studio apartment. I don't know. I know this debate has been in the system for a very long time. Do you think this studio apartment thing it's okay in Ghana? Looking at the kind of dishes we prepare, the lifestyle of a normal Ghanaian.
Yes. With that, wow. So with
Just
that,
exposure.
I it's yes, it's dicey. It's dicey, but you just have to, as someone who is staying alone, maybe you just have to manage certain dishes. Maybe certain dishes might cannot be prepared there. You could have maybe reach out to someone to help you prepare certain dishes, so that which cannot be prepared in your space, because maybe in case of maybe palm oil like this, if it hits the fire, just know that the smoke detector will come off, and then everywhere is blaring. So maybe certain dishes you might just have to forgo certain dishes while you're staying there. So yeah, that's maybe what I would say. But yeah, with that's what I would say. That would be my submission for
Oh,
that.
all right, no problem. Okay, so we're almost done. We are done. Just two questions more. And then also our audience, if you have any question, you can please drop in the chat feed and then we'll pick it up from there. Um, I have two more questions, and I'll be done. So from there, I can pick it up. I
Right.
can pick your questions as well. So, Ruth, um, I want to find out from you. We are young, and we have a lot of young people looking forward to join the real estate industry. What advice will you give to young professional and aspiring women investors looking to enter into this space?
I would say start small. Yeah, start small might feel like a cliche because in most aspects of um, saying advice, we say start small. But
Yeah.
start small. The just like you know that the growing population, 15 to 35, there is still more people who would even in the next 5 years there will be people who will be open to wanting properties to stay in either for family or for themselves. So start small. You can start with what you have. You can start with a land, buy a land. Maybe if you realize that what if you are to put it up at the moment you might not gain. So you wait till when you know that if the place is getting developed, you develop alongside with what the developments around the area, and then at least you once you make your due diligence to know what is sought after by people in that area or people that will look forward to staying in that area. So you can start small. If it doesn't have to be a big property, you can do co-investing with a trusted partner, a friend, a fellow relative, or anyone. You can even start with buying a studio apartment and refurnishing it to your style. And start with Airbnb. It doesn't have to be grand. When you start small like that, um, as time goes by, you get your money and then you can buy more or you can invest more in other places. So I would say you should start small and then real estate needs patience. So just so you know that you don't just get the property and then boom, people are starting to rent. You'll be surprised that people have had properties that have been in the market for like close to a year or two with no one coming in. But when you start small, that doesn't mean I'm discouraging you. But when you are starting, at least you start with the right marketing strategies and strategies, you should be able to gain some leverage and then grow as someone who is looking for it to invest in real estate. So that's what I would say.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Ruth. Um, so we are done at this point, and I want
Okay.
to take your final remarks and your final thoughts. Um, what do you have any advice for anybody, many of the young ones out there? Who, I know you've mentioned some few, but whoever wants to looking for it to be in the real estate industry, maybe the person wants to also be a property manager. What are the steps do you recommend for that person to take in order to be a property manager?
What I would say is that as you are starting, you don't just, of course, start with high hopes, but be someone that both the investor and then the tenants can rely on. You don't just go in there and then, oh, okay, I'm supposed to take care of this purpose. And then also, your colleagues, the people you are working with, the cleaner, the security, like you're not supposed to look down on them. You are working with them because they can come true for you as someone who don't just manage one property, because sometimes I have to be at a different place at a different time and then something needs to be done in the other apartment. I just hit up my cleaner, hello, can you help with this? Then they come through for you because you have to build that relationship with them. It's not just with the tenants or with the investors. You build with them because they make things work. Like indirectly, they make things work because when you're not there, they come through for you. They work things out, and then the tenant comes in, and then you're like, oh, okay, this is nice. But behind the scenes, you're not the one. You're not the only one. You work with a team, so you just have to be open to team building or teamwork, and then also you have to be open to you have to know how to resolve conflict, because what do you do when a tenant is not happy and then they come in confronting you, and maybe they are so angry to the extent that they are shouting, they are screaming. You, on the side of a property manager, what do you do? Do you also say, okay, you've come shouting, I'm going to shout at you, or you wait for the person to calm down to talk to the person? Because at that instance, the person might be paged up. So you, as the property manager, you have to make sure that you maintain a clear head to make sure that things don't escalate to the extent that you can't handle it any longer. So property management is fun because you are meeting diverse people, you are working with people, so you are able to know types of people and then how to handle them, because through the experiences you know that okay, this person is this type of person, this is what I need to do to be able to work well with this person. You need to also be someone who is readily available. You at least maintain a confidence, but at least smile, reach out to them. They're not just there to rent the space, but they're also there to also experience whatever you're having. So make it memorable for them. Reach out to them, not too close, but at least made professional and made personal, so that you wouldn't be like too close of a relationship, so that they know they feel at home. They feel at home from we are away from home. So that's some of the things I would say. But property management is fun. If you want to do property management, you are welcome. And then my doors are open.
Okay, thank you very much, Ruth. With your doors open, how do we then reach out to you in case of anything, whether it has to do with Ruth or it has to do with Z Homes, property management? Yeah.
So for Z Homes, we are on the various social media platforms at Z Homes. Instagram is Z Homes underscore. We are on LinkedIn. We are on TikTok. We are on Facebook as well. So you can also reach out to me via LinkedIn with my full name, with Abopoka Yorgia, which you are seeing on the screen, and then you can reach out to me via the other social media handles at maybe I'll type it in the chat. Awimbotsma underscore. So when you just type the name, I think that should pop up, and then we can take it from there.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much,
And then
Ruth.
I think I will also share my email.
Okay.
I'll
All
share
right.
my email, and then if anyone wants to reach out, that'll be fine.
Sure. You can please go ahead and then share in the chat feed. And it was great having you. I don't know if you have any questions or you have any last word to share.
Mhm. I would say that
Yeah.
real estate is a stable wealth industry
Okay.
that you
Uh,
can generate wealth using true real estate. That they were just, like I said, go in and get someone who can help you with the money or something. But you just remember that owning the property is not just um, what is it is, but making sure that the property stays longer or has a longer lifespan is what is important. And that's where property management comes in, because you can't just build the space and leave it there. It needs to be taken care of, it needs to be maintained, it needs to be put in a space where when people even come 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, they are still like, okay, this place is still nice for me, and I would want to go back. Because your tenants, your first tenant or your first ever tenant, you might be surprised that they'll keep coming back there if the place is really maintained. So yes, that's what I would say.
all right. Thank you very much, Ruth. And it was great having you. At this point, we brought our workshop to an end. And it was great having you. We appreciate you. We look forward to have you once again in
All
the
right.
future. Okay. All right.
Uh,
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I'll be available. Hi,
Okay.
Ni. Sorry, it looks like I'm not able to share the meal, so I think I would
Okay.
just maybe.
Okay. So you send it to me and then I will. send it to all those that join. I'll also post it on our social media as well, so they can reach you out to you should there be any need.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very
All right.
much. It was
Sure.
great having you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sure. Okay, everyone. Thank you very much. And that was Ruth, and she's the property manager at Z World, Z Homes. Sorry, I said Z World. Hey, Z Homes, and then she spoke to us on she spoke to us on maximizing the value in residential real estate, and the focus was insight from property management to invest opportunities in Ghana. Yes, and it was great having her. So today we've brought our November edition to an end, and then like you always know, it's a monthly series, and we have one more lap to go. That will be the month of December, and in December we are having our final, which is the real estate future summit, where almost all the speakers that have passed through for this particular year from January to November comes back on board to keep sharing their knowledge, and then it's going to be an impactful session. I don't know where you'll be joining us from, but then just take note of it and then make it a point to join us. We'll have all the speakers from January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, and November, all coming together on 4th November, which is next week, Thursday. Yes, on the 5th is a Friday. So on Thursday, we'll have all of you coming back on, and it's 10 a.m. EST. So meaning in Ghana, that would be around 3 p.m. GMT. So make it a point to join us to learn from the industry players and also help you make the right decision if you are looking forward to invest in real estate or anything you want to do in real estate. Just prepare your questions. We'll have various panels, various keynote speakers. Prepare your questions for them, and they'll be glad to answer them all. Until then, you are also permitted to join our community real estate investment workshop community, where we have a lot of real estate industry players on the platform. They share their knowledge, they share their properties, they connect with each other, and then also make businesses with each other. So you are free to join, and then just scan the QR code to join, and then hope you will have a great time. Until then, I log out. My name once again is Niama Ralph, and it was great having you. Thank you very much to you all.